vibrations, and so are you. Holy activate people, holy activations. I'm not even sure if it's working yet. There's a delay when I start that I never can tell. I think I'm going now. So, holy activations, people. We're having so much stuff coming in right now. It sometimes doesn't feel like a gift, and sometimes it feels very much like the gift that it is. So, let's just kind of cover some of the stuff that we're all going through right now. Um, I see that we already have a bunch of comments. Vanya says, "Here, let's click on her real quick here. Welcome, Vanya. Lovely to be here. Can we get some details on all the activations happening as we speak? Heart, head, upper chakras, lots of cleansing all week. I'm feeling good, but different somehow. Love to all. Yeah, very different. A lot of us are feeling different in good ways. Um, some of us could say we're feeling different in ways that we're not sure how we feel, if it's good or not. Um, this is due to it's all uncharted territory for some of us, or it just doesn't feel like what we're used to feeling like. And so, yeah, let's talk about some of this. Lots of heart palpitations, activations. People are talking about heart palpitations specifically the most, though I think that sometimes what we're getting isn't exactly what we would call a heart palpitation. It's just noticing your heart. Anyway, all of these fit under the same umbrella with this heart activation, and higher chakras. I saw that Vanya mentioned upper chakras. These upper chakras, what we're talking about when we mention this is like, the one above your head, the one above that one. Ooh, you can see the green background when I do that. Ooh, that's what it looks like in the background. I have a green screen. Anyway, and then then you have your crown chakra, your third eye, your throat. I guess you could say that the throat has several, so you can identify all of them. Um, your higher heart, your heart chakra, and then also, pardon me, many people are noticing this throat activation stuff, by the way, that I'm having. It's just your voice feels like stressed slightly. Um, this has come and gone over the course of a lot of really amazing activations and things that we're doing for clearing and healing and stuff like that. Over, I wonder what that does. I guess I just turned my volume up, so I don't know if you guys can hear me. I might do that. There's that. Anyway, um, yeah. This head stuff. Let's talk about this for a minute because this has been kind of concerning some individuals. A lot of people are having this head activation, this crown chakra, but it's also like temple. So like the little spot on your head here. There's a lot of jaw stuff, jaw by the ear. I'm noticing that this canal, this space, is an activation of a different kind altogether. We have a lot of chakras in our bodies, not to mention all of those layers beyond us, beyond our physical form, that have been dormant in some way or not noticed or utilized, and that are coming forward more as of the past few years, but especially as we heal things, then we're able to access them. And so now that we're in this age of healing, in this age of light and awareness, it's causing this beautiful ability to be available for people. So there's a lot more access to these other chakras. So we're noticing some discomfort associated with it, headache related, eye headache. I'm having a lot of third eye kind of stuff, really itchy area here. Just before I forget to mention, a lot of us, man, I've been having like this acne like a kid, like a teenager for probably a month and a half now. And it's just, I know my body's purging the stuff that my body needs to purge, but it's just kind of like, come on. Wasn't that like a guarantee of teenage life? Like, well, you're doing the acne now, but then when you get older, you won't have to deal with it again. Like another broken promise, right? Anyway, so this kind of stuff happening too. Um, a lot of really good activations. I would say that a lot of experience with like dizziness. Okay, let's grab this one because I just saw dizzy. So we're gonna grab spiritual warrior. I'm dizzy and off balance today. Okay, so the dizziness. Thank you for saying that. The dizziness, and you can combine this dizziness with like vertigo and like disorientation and different kinds of stuff. Like, oh, and here's one from Vegan Vixen that says disoriented, detached and disoriented. So a lot of people are having this. what I understand for me and my experience for that to be is, as we're pulling away from this other frequency that we're leaving behind, then there's like this in between wiggle room space. It kind of feels like the in between, like we're like in the waiting room is a corridor, a space between a point A and B kind of feeling. And I do know that the increase in earrings stuff often feels like that's related. Like we're up in this higher frequency place. And so there's like this ringing in the ear thing happening. And so I know that there's a lot of other reasons and experiences having to do with the ear ringing, but I find this very fascinating that it seems to connect. Metaphysical Mike, thank you so much. Thank you for that donation, super chat. What a miracle that for the first time we get to clear deep rooted unconscious self made punishments and become free from false paradigms. Wow, that was really well said. Thank you, Metaphysical Mike. And you're right. You know, this is a time right now to actually get to address all of these things that before we were like a powerless victim in some way. You know, I guess that then those were the words that we used. And we talked about being a victim and being the perpetrator and the offender and the victim and all this type of stuff. And then we changed the words from victim to survivor, you know, and that still implied that we were in the middle of the depths, because we were in the depths of the healing, down in the trenches where where all tragedy flows, you know, while we're down in this place. I don't know how my reception is going. It looks really lucky to me. So if I'm coming in and out too hard, please let me know. Well, that sounded really bad. Anyway, and so as we allow ourselves to see these parts, these things, these elements, of all of the characters in the story of our trauma, then we can start to relieve them. And we find that these roots no longer serve us. I don't know about everybody who's here today, but I can say that many of the people that I've talked to are also noticing that their need for highlighting or utilizing the root chakra has been slowly, you could call it evolving, an evolving story of less and less dependency on this, which is beautiful. What does the root chakra symbolize? It brings us like the feeling of security regarding all kinds of things, sexuality, just being into like someone noticing us. It can be parent. It has nothing to doesn't have to be sexual, right? When it comes to the security in a financial way, realizing that we're actually in an abundant world where everything is truly free. You know, these types of things. As we realize this with real eyes, then we can start to accept this is the reality. And then the reality before you changes is the most beautiful and bizarre thing that we relying on this seventh seal. I actually hadn't even realized that someone had said that. I don't remember who that was. The seventh seal, this root chakra. This was what that seventh seal was about, was opening it so we can heal it. So a little choppy. Michelle says it's a little bit choppy, or a little choppy, but okay. Okay. Thank you for telling me this. Here's a question. Christine, hello. Can someone be, oh, what did I just do? Oh, technology's really acting weird. Holy cow. Okay, let's go to Christine. Back to Christine. Hello. Can someone be extended? The extended amount of being so tired and sleeping most day and night and have no ambition to do anything. Yeah. So this is, I would say, is happening to several individuals in some way or another. And this is due to the fact that right now, most people are being called to go within self, spend more time in this place of meditation. And so most of us are getting symptoms of needing to quiet and to pull back and to be, in this place, as well as, yes, all of us, I would say, are very awesome, very much into service to others. And so we overextend ourselves in some ways. Not, maybe we weren't overextending ourselves at that time. And then we're realizing now that it's time to pull back a little bit. and that it's okay. It's okay to pull back. You're not running away. We're not hiding. It's just every breath also needs an exhalation, a void, a space of quiet, of emptiness, right? In order for there to be a new breath. And so allowing yourself this gentle breath. I'm loving this message that's coming in. This allow yourself this gentle breath where we take in the company and then we expel the company, and those commitments that are associated with these individuals. Um, we are moving toward a much more free-flowing way. And so there won't be as much like appointment kind of things happening in the world to follow this path that you're actually discussing right now, Christine, that it does feel really weird when we're in it because a lot of people are still trying to do life this way, a way that we're leaving behind. And so are we, I would say, to one degree or another. And then, kind of evaluating self and self energy, pulling self back in. You're like, oh, okay, maybe I don't want to do this and this and this. I can do this today or none of it. Maybe I'll do all of those things tomorrow, those types of things. And then slowly finding yourselves just going in the flow and being, as an example, today's show that I normally do on Zoology is like up in the air right now because like the way that guests have worked for today. And it's just really cool to see that the flow is okay. What I mean by up in the air is we may air later than normal. And everything is always exactly the way it's supposed to be. I don't have to try to control things anymore, which is the whole theme and point of what happened, I would say, leading into us coming here, getting rid of all of our stuff and everything. So thank you, Vegan Vixen, for the super chat. 1111. Thank you, dear Pamela. Thank you, sweetheart. You're so beautiful. There's so many beautiful people here in this group and that participate every week. And I just want to say, if I miss your comment, please write it again. I'm just kind of jumping back and forth to make sure I don't miss. Jackie, my back root today. Ay, ay, ay. Yes. And I think that we did talk about the root a little bit, though, in the association with the spinal cord that we're talking about. Okay, this has been happening the whole time we've been talking. So I've been on live with you all. So I'm going to talk about it for a second. Let's say this is my neck. This is where you have that bump in the back of your head. And this spot right here, this has been a very activating place. A lot of us have been noticing that we're having a lot of activations in this dream chakra, soul entering the body kind of chakra space. Anyway, it's as if it's being pushed up. I'm being pushed up like a chiropractor would do, where they would come in and be like, don't move. And they're like, crunch, kind of stuff. But it feels like it's like just lifting me up. And this has been happening on and off for a little while, always when something amazing is coming in. But this is having to do with healing of this root and back. This goes all the way down is what I'm trying to show you. We're talking about this whole path. Every one of our joints has the potential to kind of like tuck away some energy that hasn't been healed yet. That's just kind of how it works. Like it gets stuck it doesn't get stuck anywhere. It just can spend more time in the corners. Just like you would see with the salmon run, they always kind of pull off and find a rock to take a break for a second. Same thing in the joints. Well, what is the spine? It's a whole bunch of joints. And so there's a lot of activations to be had through here. And what's more and really exciting for everyone to kind of come into this power and understanding of it is that we have a lot of chakras within each of these vertebrae, each of these, places, joints throughout our whole spine. We have a whole bunch of joints in our hands and our feet. Like just look at your hand. You see all these, you see the background mostly, but there's just like a lot of stuff going on all over your body. So these are going to be the areas in distress the most. Archangel Michael called it the shaking out, that we also will have like spasms and twitching and stuff in these specific areas. Anyone having issues with hips, elbows, knees, shoulders, this type of thing, will kind of, most of these individuals are noticing it being a little bit more intense right now. Or maybe you've never had issues with it before and now it's a thing. Now you're having issues with this. So it's something to keep kind of like moving through and understanding that what we're doing full on is we're in a purge. We're in a big purge. And all of these things that don't serve us are being guided out. All things are meant to be done as gradually as possible. However, um, even though it's gradual, sometimes it can feel quite disruptive. So if anyone is interested in wanting to know more about Ascension Symptoms and stuff like this, that's what this show's for. I see there's some new people here, and so we kind of discussed Ascension Symptoms, where people are at, and how they're feeling. If anyone has any questions, please type them in, and I'll answer them. Pardon me. And I have this lung thing going again. That's something that a lot of people are talking about right now, that this sinus purge kind of stuff that's happening for people. It's been happening for me on and off through the summer. Now where I'm at, I'm in Houston, Texas, so it's kind of like I'm in spring or fall weather, early fall or late spring here compared to what I'm used to. Vanita, hello, sweetie. Hi, lovely Pamela. I've connected with some friends, and many people are experiencing angry red eyes, including me. We are definitely transmuting some collective things. Thank you so much for bringing this up, Vanita. The eye thing has become really a common theme right now. A lot of people are talking about it, no matter where they are on the planet, what season is happening at that side of the planet that they're in. Some people are talking about eye styes. One individual had a bone spur actually move through his eye. And then now can see a broader spectrum of color. Interesting point. My star child came to me and told Elsa and I recently that we're getting a fourth cone. And so upon further research and discovery, having a fourth cone, because we have cones and rods right in our eyes, and we also have them in our pineal gland, which is a cool story to explore, rabbit hole to jump down at some point. However, we have only 3 cones, supposedly, in our eyes. And a fourth cone would allow us to see ultraviolet spectrum of light. I can tell you one thing for sure, because this is cool. This is something I totally believe and resonate with. I just don't have the experience to back that. I can say that for me, when I've had eye disruption stuff that's been coming and going, I'm actually having it too, probably not as extreme as other people. Because some people, I've seen examples where their eye looks like it's bleeding. It's so red, it's not. And there's also been people who have had this kind of thing. Every time that I've had disruption in my eye in this way, in any of my eyes, it's always resolved into being able to see a higher or more things. My biggest thing that was going on and off has been that it's gotten blurry. And I thought that I don't have a prescription lens. I don't use contacts or glasses yet. Knock on wood. And I thought that maybe that was time. I was losing. It wasn't as easy to focus on things. And so I went and saw an eye doctor, and they said my vision's great. In fact, it was better than the last time I came. And then I found that what I was seeing were some things that weren't seen by everyone. Like my kiddo can see it. A couple of the people on the road can see it where I was living. And I'm talking about just regular stuff like a bird, or something like that. Anyway, and then we were made to remember that, this is a place that an energy can be resonating at, vibrating. We're all vibrating. If you go into it microscopically and then slow everything down, you see it's all, everything's vibrating, and just that's how physical matter is. And then if we're vibrating here, and then we're ascending, right? We don't ascend straight up. We do this. This is, and not usually as dramatic as what I'm making this turbulence look like, but see how we're pulling into the spectrum range of our visual sight and out again. So in and out of focus. And so a lot of people are having this type of a thing happen too. I'm finding that more and more things are perceivable. Then I don't have this eye gook and this other kind of complaints I would relate around the eye and stuff. For me, it felt like I have eye sty on this eye, the right eye, and then it moved to this side, and it was really uncomfortable. And then it just resolved itself. So, let's see. I'm going to grab somebody else just randomly. There's a lot of beautiful people here in comments. Superior build. Hey, Pamela, good to see you. Lots of love from KEG. Hi, Kay. Good to see you. Welcome. Path 88. Hello. hot flashes like crazy, tired, or sorry, excuse me, tried your method you discussed, connecting palm and soles. Totally helped. Awesome. I'm so glad that you tried it. Some of these things that we do, we don't realize we're doing, and that are why we're doing it and how much they help us. And so just what Path 88 had just described was I was talking about, I'm going to take this comment away so you can see me a little better, is that when we're having a lot of disruption where it comes to, it could be hot flashes, cold, hot hands, palms of hands, soles of feet. I always interchange those. I got that right this time. And what I mean by that is putting your palms together. It doesn't have to look like this. I'm just showing it to you. And then we watch the energy wherever it's at. So visualize in your mind, watching it move through your extremity, out through your palm, into this palm, and now it's moving again. And now it's going through, and it's meeting in your heart center as it's doing it, and it's going through and coming back up and through. And you can go the other direction and do whatever's correct. If you can, put the soles of your feet together, which is what I do. That really helps. If you can't do that, another method that we discovered is that you can put one palm on one foot and one palm on the other foot, and then channel the energy this way. I actually find it to be easier to create or to stabilize your toroidal field when doing it that way, where I'm actually touching the soles of my feet with my hands. It's very fascinating. So we are self-regulators. We are self-healers. We can do all of these things. It's just that maybe a lot of us we feel silly, maybe, to do some of these things. And then we find out that it works. You know what? I'm cool with feeling silly as long as it's working, Jackie says, my friend woke up with a bruise in the corner of her eye. Looks like she had a bit of a black eye. She wrote black eye, I meant to say, but a bit of a black eye. Bizarre. Yeah, a lot of people are having this eye disruption, feeling like it's disrupted kind of thing. I would full on feel like that it's like really encouraging. There are so many things that most people that come to me in session or in groups and stuff say things like, if only I could see things like you can, Pamela. You know what I mean? And that's what this stuff is. When we're having this type of stuff going on, if you feel guided, by all means, go see a medical professional, a holistic doctor, whatever it is that you're called to do. I can say for me, this is really promising. This has always been a side effect of receiving more sight, and then the trick of the day or whatever is to try not to flinch, because when I flinch, when these energies kind of come in, it's like, what is that? And it's like trying to use my logic, flinch with logic. Then I can kind of guide that energy away for a time. Don't worry, they hang out all the time. They'll be back. Oh, hey, Gabriel's here. Hello. Pamela, tell us more about colors and palms, please. So Gabriel was, a lot of you probably watched yesterday. Gabriel and Top are both here to have this awesome conversation. And I don't know if anyone noticed, but whenever Gabriel was talking, I was looking at his palms, because when he spoke about healing with music, his palms lit up this beautiful, almost like this color right there. This, it's not a big enough example, but it's like this pinkish violet color, like violet. I just want to be clear. I said violet, not violent. Purple color. And it was just exuding from his hands. And it was really amazing. Everybody has some things like this. When we're talking about or engaging in or practicing with any of these like higher frequency knowings that we do, then there's an example of it that comes from us. It's a light of some type, and it's always got some kind of color associated with it, or it's straight up white, which is also really beautiful. I tend to see these types of things around a person's head more than I do their hands, though some people are very speak a whole bunch with their hands, and so you get a chance to see what's coming from there. You'll also find that the palms of the hands and things like this are more lit up with people who are intentionally participating in healing, or some type of practitioner that's a healer or doing something with intention in this way. Leah, it's so good to see you, sweetie. The fourth cone in the eyes is related to the fourth phase, the resonance of the upper three dimensions. Fascinating. Leah, You always come in with some bombshell stuff. Thank you for telling me that. We have Nezzy says that she has itchy eyes a lot. Yeah, and that's the main thing I'm noticing. It itches, and then I'm like, oh, it's sore. There's something going on. I've been watching people. Just and just in general, when we're having conversations in groups or just even on the street, people are touching the corner of their eye a lot. Like, there's something going on here. A lot of people are doing this, so I'm finding it just really fascinating to watch. And then she also says, even have a loose, excuse me, I'm having a hard time saying molar out of nowhere. There's a lot of stuff about teeth. A lot of people have been talking about lately. I'm really fascinated to find out what's a deeper story to that right now. Itchy everywhere for me, says Flirtily. Yeah. And then there's a lot of reports about like this even lower body kind of rash, or even like eczema like, even acne like. I know that for a little bit, acne is not the right word again. It's not really acne, but like I was noticing it on my legs. Like it's just really annoying and it's really itchy. Um, it just makes a lot of sense. There's all this science and stuff that we purge all these layers of ourselves every 7 years or something, and when we move into a new field, a new body, and so it would make sense as we purge everything that our skin cells are purging too. Anna, I think is how you say your name. I might not be saying that correctly, but I love the spelling. I'm so tired but restless all this at the same time. It's like I'm waiting for something but don't know what. Strange feeling. Yeah, actually, a bunch of us were talking about this the past couple of days, is that we all kind of feel like there's like some kind of exciting clock ticking down, and it has a lot to do with kind of the time of something else that we're doing. I find that fascinating because, a lot of I'm doing this festival in a couple of weeks, and a bunch of people are coming for it that we are friends with, and it's really exciting. And so a lot of us were thinking that it was because of this, because we're all really excited about this, right? And then there are people who aren't coming. There are people who aren't even really fully aware that when that's going to happen, who have the same date or same time frame, rather. Kind of like this exciting, here it comes, something's coming. Guardian, yay, good to see you. Hello, beautiful souls. I'm happy you could join. Guardian here, or Zoltan, excuse me. He's Guardian, but you can find him on YouTube under this name here, Jay Zoltan. He will be my guest next week on the show for the 1 hour do interviews for people through Soulology Network. So anyone I love the stuff that comes through with Guardian. I've known Guardian forever. He's been quite the inspiration and guidance for a lot of us. Let's see. We got Leah here. She says, Gabriel, he has aspects connected to Archangel Gabriel. That makes sense. I think that he might even be here listening. Or I don't know if he's still on the call. I lost my... Oh, whoops. What? Technology is really freaking out, man. What is the deal? There we go. Thank you so much, Tasha, for the super sticker. And the dog clapping his hands. I think it's so funny when I'm on this platform, the way that it doesn't show you the animation, so it just tells you, and it's like, shit, Shiba dog. That's really fun. Thank you so much for that. Lockjaw. Let's talk about the jaw thing for a bit. Thank you for bringing this up, Path 88. So lockjaw, I wouldn't call it lockjaw, but perhaps it can feel like that. I kind of wonder to myself if this experience is due to the fact that the appetite. I've just not really had much of an appetite at all. It's very strange. I mean, I'm pretty sure I haven't really lost any weight, but since I've been in Houston, which has been almost an entire month now, I've really not been eating much food at all. And it's not because my body's not saying it's hungry. The appetite just went away, and so as a result of not chewing very often, I thought that maybe there was something having to do with that, because I'm noticing my jaw is really noticing me not chewing as much. Anyway, so anyone else having this jaw stuff? And also like it just feeling, you almost feel like the Tin Man, like it just feels like, I don't know, something's going on with the jaw. We have another comment here from Eric. I have been in bed for like 3 days and I thought to get up and do something, and between my eyes seemed to vibrate into my brain for about 5 seconds. It felt great. I know exactly what you're talking about. This is really cool. I've seen it as a visual representation of electricity, but not in a bad thing. I'm just like, oh, cool, here you are. And it would always go through my third eye, and then it has a buzzing sound. It's like electricity buzzing sound, bzz, kind of sound. And it's just so euphoric. It's such a beautiful, wonderful sensation that every time it happens, I look like one of those kids playing like freeze tag, because I'll like be like, don't move to ruin it, and then I'll have, usually every time so far, one of my ears will start to ring very loudly, and it'll distract me just enough to bring me out of this this mindfulness that I'm just in the moment, and distract me with and then I'll come back and not have that sensation anymore. So it's really a beautiful third eye activation that a lot of us are having. I find it fascinating that for me, it's always representative in a way of electricity. I don't know if that's exactly what it really is, but that's what it looks like for me, energetically speaking, so where all things are light, it makes sense. Sometimes I get an upgrade with it. Yes, me too. All of a sudden you start to like realize that you're noticing things, or able to process things, or yeah, some type of skill comes forward. And where I'm at is that because we're recalling a previous experience from long ago, often we kind of, I forget that I couldn't do it before very quickly, just because I normalize it really fast. So I need to be sure to tell people before I get too in the moment, I guess. Here's a really good, thank you very much for your comment. Indiana Jones, welcome. Personally, I'm finding the energies coming in since the eclipse very uncomfortable. I felt like I'm going crazy and felt on edge. This is common for a lot of people's experience right now. Like there are people who, I would say that I'm one of those people, though it's been in small doses and it's been fleeting for me. I don't know what the difference is. I can say doing sessions with people puts us in a place where you do more daily focused intention in order to be the clearest channel for individuals. And so it kind of, due to my desire to be of assistance to others, it makes it so I probably have a spiritual hygiene that I wouldn't have otherwise. So what I mean by that is doing regular meditation, regular intentions, clearings, soul cleansing kind of stuff, clearing energy, 3333, and just having all of these, and it's 2, 3, 4 o'clock. So having that information, considering the different things that we can do, some of this stuff is going to suck. Some of this stuff's not going to feel that great. Some of it's not going to be that wonderful for some time, but there are things that we can do to make it a little easier, such as bringing dirt into the home. If you're not able to go out and put your feet on the ground because it's too cold, that happens. And where I was living before, I did that all the time because the ground froze and we'd have several feet of snow on top of it. And other things like connecting with plants and this kind of thing. However, if we can get out into nature in any way, whether you're in a car, bundled up like an Eskimo, getting out and away from all of the frequency, if you can, that's really useful. Having said all of that, most people can't do all of those things. Like there's a lot of, so daily meditation. And the meditation I'm talking about only requires a few minutes of your time. The deeper, more in-depth ones, fewer and fewer people seem to be doing that right now for one reason or another. Most of the individuals are just having like kind of half meditations that I've been talking to. And as they've connected with me, then we've been able to start that process back up again for them. I can also relate to this. That I would say, if it wasn't for doing as many sessions as I do, I probably wouldn't meditate as deeply. So I'm gonna cough again. Excuse me. Pardon me. So, daily meditation if possible, at least every few days. Connecting with soil if possible. Baths, even foot soaks with Epsom salt. I'm definitely saw the difference in me when I stopped taking Epsom salt baths while I was doing the move and the whole thing. It's really important. And so even if you could just get a small enough container or a big enough container that one of your feet can sit in, 1 foot at a time, Epsom salt really, really helps a lot right now. And so, and then in the intentional clearing of doing what we call shadow work. Shadow work is something that some people call inner child work. It's the same thing. It's the same, except the modality presented is a little bit more in alignment with what we do in our kinds of healings and work this way. So I would suggest looking up Aaron Abke, specifically from his earlier content. I can't say what about any of his more current stuff, but a few years ago he was producing a lot of shadow work meditation, guided meditations, and there's quite a few examples, and he's not the only one. There's many out there to try this, and this does help. It does. So thank you for your comment. Oh, I see that Indiana Jones says I'm doing all that. None of it's helped. If anyone else has any more suggestions, I know that Jackie just said something. She said she has a grounding mat. I bought some rocks to put my feet on, plus ordered a small grounding mat. I've still gone out in the cold, dug a hole in the snow, and put my feet in the grass, but not for long. There's a lot of really awesome examples that we can do. And again, remember, right now we're in this big time, so there's going to be a lot more to clear. It's going to take a little bit longer. And some of these things we're not going to be able to resolve all the way. Spiritual warrior says, I've had a lot of that lately too, Pamela. Throat stuff and extra phlegm, just clearing of the body. Yeah, and also I'm noticing that it's activating these upper chakras, your heart chakra, your throat chakra, your third eye, and your crown. And it's kind of something that's happening, that's really useful, so there is a clear point to be made for all of us too, is that we're having these ascension symptoms. We are all having them. There's not always a clear way to alleviate, because I would say that most of what we've been taught, at least what I've been taught in the Western culture that I was brought up in, was that if there's a pain or a pang of some kind, then you would take a medication or a pill so you wouldn't have to feel it anymore. And I found out that by that practice, I was actually just covering up these ascension symptoms for myself. And I'm not saying don't do any of these things. It's just be aware that we are having these, and they're upgrading us and helping us toward someone or this greater understanding and this expression, and so this DNA that was dormant for all these years is just coming online, man. And there's a lot of growing pains associated with it. So all of the stuff that we do and talk about are to help alleviate some of it, and the best that we can. We do sessions to help with this in a more lasting way, I suppose. But all of these things are just practices and things we pick up along the way. Vegan Vixen says, Pamela, I put your name forward to Pam Gregory as she asked us to suggest guests to her. Awesome. I would love to be her guest. That would be fun. Thank you for doing that. I already said this about Jackie. I clicked on you before, Jackie. I'm clicking on you again. Everyone's laughing at Jackie. I can relate. Not laughing at Jackie, but laughing with you, girl. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff happening, and a lot of people are struggling. And I could say that the most helpful thing that I've done is being in motion, whatever motion is for you. I know that for some of my neighbors, I would go next door and I'd lay on the floor beside them and dance. We put on some music and we'd floor dance. I've gone over and I've danced with people sitting in chairs. We've done, and this is just people that are struggling, and they don't know why they're struggling. Some of them don't know that about the awakening and things that are happening, but we know how to help, and that's to move. That's why qigong is such a big deal. Yoga, these different type of practices have a useful effects for your body. You notice that you start to tone up, and things become a little easier to do, and it also alleviates a lot of the symptoms that we're having. Because what were we talking about earlier? It's that the stuff gets stuck in the corners, right? In the edges, in the joints. Well, when we move, we help the stuff go out. We get it out. Benita says, I get super cold here. It gets super cold here. It's snowing right now. I just envision grounding myself, roots going deep down into Mama Gaia. Yes, and thank you for making this bringing this forward, Vinita. Also, when you're in a place that's really cold and you're meditating and digging your roots, which you're strongly suggested to do, remember, please, to dig deep enough, because a lot of times that will then like chill your body because it's still in the cold part, the cold layer of the earth. And I didn't actually know what that was all about, but I just found out that yeah. So thank you for bringing that up. Our bodies are water. Exactly. They are water. So we need to move the chi. Yes. Thank you so much for saying that. And, speaking of our water, our bodies being water, is that the words that we use, even if they're in just self-talk, if we're speaking in a negative form to ourselves, we're being unkind, speaking down to ourselves, using words that aren't of self-worth, then it commits that to our body for that time. Just like, Dr. Emoto does with this, showing that if you speak kind words or to water, it changes them. If you speak unkind words to them, they changes them in a different way. So being this body of water that we are, let's consider, to be the custodian we're meant to be, and as we speak kindly to this water, we'll find that we'll start to actually get information. Because if you get down in this way and look at it energetically, spiritually speaking, you see that water is like a little crystal, like teeny tiny little crystal, and it's full of all this information. They're always saying water's memory. They even say about how water contains memory in all these cartoons. Like they're telling the children all over the place. This is important to know right now. And that the water is being released. It's a big theme right now too. A lot of us have guessed what that means and looked into the symbolism and stuff. And what we know is, what it comes down to is that there have been places that have been disguised or kept safe until we're ready, that have been disguised with water, with dams and stuff. So it's a really interesting and fun thing to see happen. Indiana Jones has another question. Is there any way to ground Kundalini energy that's rising with these energies? Digging, just like Vanita said, the best thing that I ever found was to dig up and down. So you dig down, the roots down into Gaia, right? And then dig up to God, and extend those energies. When we do this, when we move the energy like this through, down, up, down, and dig all the way to Gaia's heart center. There's a center of the earth that's this beautiful heart center of Gaia that is the closest thing that we have of that is in this way, that is like this womb place, this void womb place. And you can go, when we go there, we recharge. There's this complete acceptance of love and appreciation for who you are exactly, and filling up of energy. And then when the energy is sent back up through the soil, it goes up to you times 10. So Gaia shares back the energy you brought down to her back up to you. And then that funnels up and goes up to God. Whatever you call God, the universe, the source, higher power. And this source power place is also and more intensely filled with this beautiful love, this acceptance, this protection, this nurturing place. And you're filled up again. And then again, an amplified version is sent down to you. This happens quite rapidly from my experience, and I see it like a figure eight or an infinity symbol that crosses at my heart center. It crosses, though, like a Kundalini, like you talk about, where it goes back and forth this way. I would say that when I first started to do that was when I had more and more activation, and then also relief from a lot of the Kundalini type symptoms that were really aggravating and just difficult at first. Let's see. I'm going to grab the bottom one just to. Jeanette says, dig down and dig up through all the chakras. Yes. To the divine and down to you, pure essence. Exactly. And knowing that you're connecting to things that are you as well, energies that are you. That's you. You're doing. That's you. You're connecting to yourself. Hey, it's good to see you, Josie. It's so cool. Love the geometry. Thank you very much. She loves the geometry. This is Metatron's cube, it turns out. I didn't know. I was just like, this is really a cool. I like this example. And this what it looks like when you see a bunch of star seeds merging in important places on the planet that I've seen. This is what it looks like from the aerial view. I had no idea that it was like a big symbol. I love it. I love it. It's really neat. And then Vivanita says, oh, sorry, she's talking to somebody else. I didn't want to do that. Pardon me. Spiritual warrior, I'm sitting here with my bare feet on a huge smoky quartz crystal. Yes. Great example. Bringing stones, crystals, anything. Like there's a lot of different ways that we can connect and to have this flow and movement of the energy. And so you can like heal yourself in this way. I just clicked this one. It was the one above it, I think. Vanya, had our first heavy snow today and really cold weather. I absolutely love it. The cold soothes me. I do miss the snow. This is the first year since I was a teenager that there has not been a snow season because we're all the way in Houston, Texas, opposite side of the planet. Vinita says, I spontaneously jump up to dance when I feel myself sitting for too long. Definitely shifts the energy and makes me happy too. Yes. I love this celebration of life that happens in this way. Whenever I'm dancing, you can expect awesome things to happen. My kid put all kinds of stuff under the desk. Didn't expect that. Booby trap. We have another Anissa, I think is how you say it. I don't know I hope I said your name correctly. I live in Cape Town, South Africa. It's summer here. I'm walking bare feet and bathing in the sun. It's wonderful. Oh, that sounds so glorious. Wow, that's so cool. Wow, thank you for sharing. Also, waiting on media to switch to truth, says Abundance 2021. Yeah, I don't actually know if I have any idea what the media is saying anymore. There's a lot of stuff that individuals are coming forward asking questions, though. Yeah, I don't like. I go to Facebook to put up inspirational memes, and then I kind of disappear. But that's the closest thing I have, I think, to my connection. I'll have to look into that. That's a good point. Thank you. I wonder when that's going to happen. I forgot about that. Shelly says, I have felt energy/pain in my jaw and feet for months. I did an ancestral healing, and the next morning it was gone. Sweet. We're having a lot of this ancestral stuff right now. It's so fascinating. And I got a big download about ancestral healing last night. What was that about? I forgot all about that. Thank you, Shelly. I'll have to remember what that was about. It was to teach. Miriam says, I always struggle to make sure pronunciations of crystals. I don't know the Latin words and stuff. Moss agate, and tree agate or agate are both earth. I'm probably not even saying it right. There's probably like a third way to say it that I'm not saying. Are both earthly earthy grounding stones that I like to carry in my pockets. It's a really I usually have a stone that I have on my neck, but right now I'm wearing my daughter's. My daughter gave me this. It's a rainbow moon. It's got all of the different chakras. It was really cute. She was so proud of herself. And so I wear it as much as I can with love. There's also I tend to do of all the crystals that I pick. I would probably say that I carry around the earthing grounding ones the most. Andy says, swinging arms like a twist and shaking helps me move the energy and say loving, grateful words. Yes, being in a grateful heart. Most of us don't think about that until like the last thing, I guess. But maybe it's because it's the last thing because that's what works. Just remembering to be in a place of gratitude, being in a place of gratitude and celebration. The energies around us are all celebrating, like literally. That's what I'm getting. It's like whoop whoop, yeah, woohoo! You're almost there. You did it. And it's like, what did we do? What did we do? Silence, except for the yeah, So it's like there's a lot going on, and I can say that most individuals experience it after these other frequencies because of the way that things work. It's like an echo that goes down. So this is a really good comment. Thank you, Josie. Been waking up at 3 to 5 a.m. lately. Yes. Always that window of time for me too. Always. Usually, if I've not gone to sleep by 3, I'm up till 5. And that's my big thing. That's my Achilles tendon is I am a late person. I always have been. My kiddo goes to bed and I'm like, yes, now it's time to do some cool work, and because you're not going to be interrupted. She's very good to not be interrupting if she doesn't, if she knows. But anyway, so between 3 and 5 is the most activating right now. If anyone can and notices themselves awake in this window of time, this is the time. If you do meditation, healing of any of these types of things, you'll find that it's more impactful, more intense, more amazing, and more in depth than it is any other time of the day or night. So Donna 7 says, for so long, I was seeing vine-like branches so often. Any idea why? There would be a lot of symbolism behind that, so it would depend on the person and a little bit of your background. I can say for me, because for me, I'm very plant-oriented. I love gardens. I love this type of stuff. For me, it would be a sign of something beautiful and something awesome and exciting that the earth is speaking to us and communicating and like extending out to me. So I would take it as a very loving thing. Though, again, everyone's different. So based on your experience and how it feels for you, it depends. Josie says, I just heard a larkspur. Is this a bird? Larkspur. I'm interested because you said that my comment got flagged. I wonder. That's really cool. Thank you. I'm actually going to write that down because I'm going to look that up. There's a lot of really cool stuff that comes forward in these conversations that we often don't even realize how important that is. But then she says, I think my comment got flagged. It might have. I don't think I have any kind of flagging put on there. So sometimes if you don't click your own flagging or not flagging, then they'll just decide for you. Christine says, how come even though I know I'm ascending, I know I'm ascending and I've been able to see I'm getting in the higher frequency. Why aren't some of us experiencing the change as like you do and others? Why don't more know, probably is what she's saying here. I would say that it's our own conditioning. When we convince ourselves something isn't real, then it is unperceivable. And like, just like the child who learns, most children in an earlier time would learn to not invest in their imagination. Very quickly, it would go away. They would no longer have an imagination. And then so too the belief in these other things. So then, after a time, we would find that that individual is harder to, like they say, like it's hard to teach a dog old dog new tricks, kind of a concept. To uncondition, to unlearn what we've learned up to this point has been, I would say, the most time consuming of all the healing that we're doing. Just allowing ourselves to accept even the smallest likelihood that some of these other higher frequency mythological, these prophecy type things actually they're actually occurring. It takes a lot of unconditioning and unlearning. So um, I would say that for the majority of the individuals who are struggling, it's just this undoing. I had my own undoing that I needed to do. Uh, People like me, I would say in my category, the reason that I'm the way that I am, one of the reasons that I'm the way that I am is due to the fact that I was raised in a way until I was 14 where no one questioned this stuff. It just was. Like my sisters and brothers, it was just, it wasn't some kind of woo wah thing. It was regular, you know. You talk about whether or not you did the dishes, and then, where you went on astral traveling and comparing notes, and like that's what most of us have at that age, I would say. It's simply that most of us are conditioned not to believe in ourselves and to not trust ourselves. And so the conditioning, the unconditioning, and learning to trust yourself, that's what I was talking about before, is probably the hardest part. And so I would be a rarity in that I wasn't raised with that. I did accept this way and being indoctrinated into the system as a teenager into an adulthood period of time. However, it wasn't that long lasting in contrast. And so it's been something that I would say is the biggest thing that we teach right now. It's difficult because what we're asking somebody to do, what we're suggesting for someone to do, is to uninvest in all the things that you believe in, you know, and in a world where many of these individuals have been accosted or violated or approached by somebody with unkind intentions. So they're also needing to suspend this self-preservation act that they've been doing and not trusting anybody else, to trust someone else suggesting that they stop trusting what their head's telling them. It's quite the suspend disbelief. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Fleur de Lis. That was so kind of you. 1313 super chat. Thank you, Pamela, for your excellence. Oh, thank you. I love you. That was really, really sweet. Thank you. And yeah, like Michelle here says, suspend disbelief, suspending the disbelief in all the things, all of them. You know, opening up your mind to the likelihood or even the slightest possibility that all of the things that we were taught were fairy tales, make believe, mythology. They were analogies. They were all these different kinds of things that weren't classed as real. Allowing ourselves to suspend that and say, what if all of it's real? Okay, then what are we going to do about it? And how are we going to interact with the world? If all of that's real, then you're real. Your ability, your power, what your brain, when your mind as a child, even as into adulthood, has been telling you you're capable of doing, you are. It's simply getting past that conditioning. You know how earlier I said not flinching? That's because, so let's show the graph of energy. Here we have love, right? The purest, most perfect love. And the opposite we would call fear. This is all a beautiful spectrum. There's many other emotions in this spectrum. Most emotions, emotional experience, are based in one of the two, right? Okay, so the farthest away from love that we go, the closer to fear that we go. Same with the other direction. The closer to fear, the farthest away from, close to love, the farthest away from fear. And so being in this place, we find that as we raise our frequency, when we're in a place of love and openness, not in a place of fear and anger and these types of things, then it's easier to perceive and interact with these higher frequency energies, because that's where they resonate. They resonate at this love place. And so when we're doing this, we find sometimes when we're startled by an energy, you're not going to expect to see an individual standing in front of you, and all of a sudden you do, even if it's just the corner of your eye. And then we look out of fear. It's like, oh, because there's something there that you didn't expect. And sometimes that'll pull you down in the fear part of this frequency that we're talking about, just enough to not see this energy. Doesn't mean you can't go right back into it. Now I accept it. Many people are having this corner of the eye, peripheral vision. Usually, I would say the most frequency is from the left corner of the eye, the left peripheral vision. This has been where a lot of energies are coming in from for an individual, but not always are they close to them. It's something that's moving off to the side. Orbs and stuff like that being seen with the left eye, the corner of the left eye, is just one of those kinds of things. So anyway, that's a method of how to do it. That's a method of how to allow yourself to be in this place. Hello, Emma from Australia. It's good to see you. Welcome. We're just getting ready to close up, unfortunately. I'm so happy you're able to join. I hope you can catch us again on our replay, and then also later on. Course of Miracles, literally, yes. You can watch it on replay is what I meant to say. I got excited about seeing the Course of Miracles because this has been brought up a lot. I have not read the Course of Miracles. I not actually studied a lot of this stuff. This has all been coming through for me in an organic way, but I have seen a little bit of content with people talking about Course of Miracles, and I've held the book a few times, but it never ended up working out where I could conveniently read it, so I just haven't yet. I clicked. Hello, Genevieve. Thank you for coming. And also, Ing says, always love to listen to you, Pamela. Hugs from Belgium. Thank you so much for coming. And thank you all for joining me today. I am needing to close down for the day. So for this particular chat, rather. Thank you all for coming. And please join me later today. I think it's probably going to be in about 3 hours, but we'll see. I'm going to have a show on the Soulgy platform. All social media platforms, I believe, will be aired from. The plan is to have Todd Medina be the person I will be interviewing today. We'll see how everything turns out. It's going to be awesome to see what unfolds in the next few hours. And then also, I will be here again next Sunday, same time, same bat channel. Also, if you would like to connect with others like you, like me, like us, people in the chat, some of them join me weekly on a free Friday Zoom meeting that I do every Friday with rare exceptions. I will be having to skip one during having the Soulgy Festival. So the Soulgy Festival is 8th, 9th, and 10th. So that will be the 10th will be that Sunday that I won't be able to do it. So, and if you're interested in coming to Soulgy, please feel free to, I'll actually type it in really fast. This is a way to, let me make sure I write it the right way. So I always want to call it Soulgy. I'd say it the wrong way anymore. So that's actually pretty good. SoulgyNetwork.com. And you can just click there and go to, I'm going to put this up so everybody can see it. There it is. And if you just click on this, you can go to the website and click on Soulgy Festival 2023. That'll give you more information about it. That is coming up in the next about 2 weeks from now. December 8th, 9th, and 10th. It's going to be a lot of fun. A bunch of us are going to be here. A lot from our group. It's going to be awesome. If you can't, that's okay. Just know that that's an option. And I will see you next Sunday. Same bad time, same bad channel. I love you all. You got this. Aho blessings.